And now, weighing in out of the blue corner, Josh the Punk Thompson. 100% agree. And on the other mic, he weighs in from the red corner, Big John McCarthy.
All right, everyone, welcome after the very first fight on Fight Island, which is really not just an island for fighting. It's an island with everything, the Ferrari world and everything there, but UFC 251 is over, and we, Josh Thompson and I, are here for you after UFC 251 to talk about everything that went on. This is the Weighing In Show. You can catch us on YouTube, Google Podcasts, Apple iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, and as I like to say, a plethora of other platforms. You can also, if you like our show and you want to be part of what we do, we have very cool t-shirts for sale on ProWrestlingTees.com. Go to ProWrestlingTees.com, put in Weighing In. You'll see that incredible picture that shows Josh and the ugly guy. Push on that picture. You can see some of our t-shirts. We have 4 shirts there for you now. A brand new cool one that is our new logo for the Weighing In Show. I think you're going to like it. If you like it, take that. Use the code word birthday, since it is our 1-year anniversary of doing the Weighing In podcast. Put birthday in there. You'll get 20% off on those t-shirts. I just ordered one myself, and I'll be wearing it as soon as it comes in. Joshua, did you enjoy the fights?
I loved them.
So did I.
Most
of them were fantastic.
Yeah. I have some mixed feelings about it, but we've talked to, I've brought up a couple things, but before we get into all the fights and before we get into all that stuff, there was, we had a fan do a couple things for us. We had a fan do some fan art for us. So I wanted to show this real quick. Very cool little fan art. I don't know if you guys can see that, but very nice. Thank you for sending it to me all the way from the UK. I would hang it up on the wall, but the frame broke. I'm actually holding it together when he shipped it here. So, but I thought it was a very nice gesture. Thank you very much. I want to appreciate that. I'm
calling bullshit there. I didn't get one.
Yeah, that's
what the hell?
Because people don't really like you. They just like
there are 2 freaking people on the show.
Yes. Actually,
you can't send Josh the stuff. He'll keep it.
There's 2.5. There's podcast Dave. But there also somebody from Sublime Modifications, which they do like gun modifications, which is pretty dope. But he sent me over some stuff as well. Some earbuds, a couple gun cleaners, things like that. But it was really cool. What I really liked about it, and don't like to give a whole lot of credit to people that we don't work with sponsorship wise and stuff like that, but I thought this was great only because he actually specifically sent something for Podcast Dave. Podcast Dave, could you please stand up so you can see this? Because this is the greatest thing ever. So Podcast Dave, just for Podcast Dave, he actually decided to send you a tampon, which was absolutely amazing. I thought it was wonderful. Thank you so much for thinking of Podcast Dave. It's beautiful. I love it. It was great. Anyways, I guess only I have that kind of sense of humor. Even Big John's not really.
That's just wrong.
It's just wrong. But look, you guys, I've been getting hit up a lot. I mean, I don't know if people are hitting you up, but I mean, I get hit up a lot about they love our show, they love what we're doing, they love to see the growth, and we just had our 1-year anniversary and everyone was amped about it and everyone keeps reaching out saying congratulations to me. Everyone's sliding in the DMs going, hey, congratulations on the show.
There you go.
I'm very, very happy. The fact that, I think we're right about 50,000 subscribers in 1 year. Did a great job and it's only going to get better from here, man. I'm really amped up about it. So John, it's been a pleasure working with you for 1 year. Podcast Dave, it's been a couple years, you and I. We've ventured off and did a couple other shows from before this, but it's been fun. We've had our ups and downs, but I guess kind of like stepbrothers kind of thing. Yeah, so slap him around a little bit. He tries to slap me around a little bit, but it's fun. The fights tonight. Let's get to the fights.
Let's do it.
Do you want to start with the main event or do you want to work your way up?
I think we work our way up. Let's go with the good. Because you got to admit, starting off, Amanda Ribas, what a beautiful performance, beautiful armbar, the way she set it up, all of it. And I mean, she had that thing locked in before the switch where people are looking like she's down. She had control of that the entire way. Yeah. I give Paige credit. She tried to work her way out. Her arm was getting cranked before she tapped out. So, you get that caught in that position. There's nothing you can do. You know, it's checkmate. And, you know, she got caught by a better fighter. You know, Hebus is, she's the real deal. And she's actually, you know, she is a strawweight. She was fighting flyweight there. She's an actual strawweight. So she's someone, she's going to be competition for Wei Li.
Yeah, I'm not willing to go that far just yet. but she's got a lot of other girls to go through before she gets to Wei Li. But I will say this. She has the most impressive record I've ever seen. 101, I think, is what she was listed at. I know. But come on. You gotta let
the
me
people
have
I was with right away, they go, she's had 100 fights? I go, no, they're making a
You got to let me have fun with this. Gosh, can't you just ride along?
I'm sorry. Dude, you're right. You're right. Go ahead.
Gosh,
Go ahead.
Yes. You already
she was 99 and won just 2 fights ago.
That's awesome.
That should be 101.
So a couple things. I don't want to ride Paige VanZant too much. The inactivity, the broken arm, things like that. But when she had the bottom position, she got head tossed right to the bottom. Great head toss by, how do you say her name? Hebus. Hebus. Okay. So she had a beautiful head toss right to side, right against the cage. Great job. The problem that I have is that Paige VanZant, even though she had the body lock, she was kind of holding herself there. There was nothing really holding her there. Hebus didn't even have like the elbow for the elbow control. All she had to do was unlock her hands. There's one moment where she almost got to her knees, and that's how she ended up throwing. And then Hebus ended up throwing her leg over the top to get to like kind of the back. But she was really kind of holding herself in that position, Paige VanZant was. And it just, I don't know if it's from the lack of fighting or maybe it's the training and not being in fight, like being able to get into the groove of fighting. But I just look at that as like, that's kind of a technique in a position that just seems very something you would do like in early ages of MMA. And I don't want to knock her too much. I know just she's been inactive. She's been doing a lot of, she hasn't been able to fight in a while, but I got a little concerned watching that part of them. Like, you're really just holding yourself in that position. There was one moment where she could have got away. I guess maybe I'm overreading it. Maybe I'm overlooking at it, but I just kind of was like, well, it's so simple. Unlock your hands, go to your knees. I'm not saying it's simple as in to do it against somebody, obviously easier said than done, but she was holding herself in that position. Even when she went to her knees, that made it easier for Hebus to throw her leg over the top and get to the armbar position, which is exactly what she did.
Yeah, but I think you're looking at, there's two ways of looking at it. She's in Kazakatami, or a lot of people like to say a scarf hold. Mm-hmm. Okay, but Kazakatami in that position, she has the ability to hold with one hand, meaning she can take her arm, which is holding on to Paige's head, and you see her grabbing her thigh. You know that.
Yeah.
What Paige was doing, in my mind, is she was keeping that arm because she had the right hand of Hebus locked up. That's when she's holding on. She's holding her in place. Yes, she is, because she's holding her from being able to open up with that right hand and keep herself from getting damaged. So, you know, there's going to come that point. You got to let it go so you can try to get up. And I just looked at it. When she did that, she made the mistake of her arm was stuck deep. And when the leg came over and she got back, she rolled through. It happens. You know, I give her credit. She's working hard to try to, you know, fight. She's fighting good people, because, you know, taking the fight against Amanda here, look at, that's a hard fight. She knew it was a hard fight going in. You can see by the odds in that fight what people were looking at. You and I had talked about that, and I said, look, this could be a very hard fight for Paige VanZant to win. The only way she's going to win this fight is if she gets the fight to the ground and is in the top position. She has the ability and some of the skill sets to cause some damage, possibly go for a submission. But if she ends up underneath or it's in the stand-up, I just don't see her having much of a chance in the fight. That's the way it played out, but that's what happens. You got to fight the fight. Sometimes it goes exactly the way you think. Sometimes it doesn't. So that's why you do it.
Yeah, I actually texted you a couple hours before, and I said, I don't know, man. These betting lines are looking pretty good right now. I mean, I think if you bet 100, you were winning like 800 on Paige VanZant. But
one time.
One time. So I was kind of like, you know what, I might even do this. And you're like, yeah, don't do it.
Don't do that.
Yeah. But look, I felt like I think some of it was just the inactivity, also just not being prepared for the actual, I guess, like fight pace. You know, like, I don't know what kind of work she's getting wherever she is, you know, whatever it is, but just being inactive.
She's up at Gracie Baja, Portland, you know.
Yeah.
She's got her husband, Austin Vanderford. Look, he's really good.
Really good.
But sometimes it's very hard to coach a partner, a wife or a husband, because it just doesn't come across the same way when they're saying, oh, you're not doing that right. Here, let me show you how to do that. And sometimes they get that, I don't like you telling me what to do, but I don't know that that's the case. Fabiano Skerner is there. He's a fantastic coach. There are some good people there.
Yeah.
But you also don't know how much they're able to get together and actually train with everything that's going on. Oregon's had a lot of things going on too. So who knows?
All right. I guess to go to the next chapter of that, do we see her again in the UFC or do we see her bouncing? Where does she go?
I think she's bouncing. I think she's already made up her mind.
Yeah.
I don't think the UFC is going to, obviously, they're not going to up her contract substantially. If they were going to up it, they're going to say, well, you've got, this is your record. This is where you fit in our roster. And I think she's looking for more. Can she get more? Well, sure. She does have name recognition. A lot of people like to watch her fight. Is she worth what she wants? I can't say that because I don't know exactly what she wants, but someone will give her a contract.
Dave, can you scroll up so I can see more of her record? Okay, go down. Yeah, right. I just want to see the top 5, 6. So she lost to Rose, which is no shame. She lost to Michelle Watterson, which is no shame.
No shame.
Jessica Rose Clark is, still
Jessica
tough.
Rose
super
is a
tough.
good, tough fighter. There you go.
So good, tough, super tough. And Amanda Ribas, tough as well. She beat Ribas.
It's Portuguese.
Yeah.
The R's and H. You learned that long ago.
She beat Rachel Ostovich by submission. Yep. I mean, all in all, I know she's not on the winning terror, like she was early in her career.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you right now, with the injuries plagued, I don't know if she'll be able to go anywhere and get what she's probably making in the UFC. In the UFC, I don't know. If you want to try to keep her, I don't know if they do. She could go overseas and fight someone like Angela Lee or Michelle Nicolini somewhere in that division. I don't know if she wants to be in that. I think they're at 115, so I don't know if she wants to be there or not. But those girls are just as dangerous. Angela Lee's fucking nasty good.
Oh,
I know.
Good.
I know Michelle just beat her, but like they both have kind of similar styles as far as jiu-jitsu wise, except Michelle Nicolini's a 9-time world champion. So when you're talking about jiu-jitsu wise, I don't know if you really want to go over there and you just got armbarred by Hebus. I don't know if you want to try and go fuck around with Michelle Nicolini either. But then if you come over to Bellator, yeah, you're going to have your hands full there as well. I just don't know if these companies, I guess she does have a following. She does. That's one thing you can go on. She's very, she's obviously good looking, and I just don't know. I really don't know. You don't know what, and her husband's already at Bellator, so that obviously makes it easier. It makes it easier for her to jump there. I just don't know if I'm that promotion, if I'm Bellator, if I'm willing to pay her what I think she's trying to ask for or trying to get to. But that's not my business. That's not your business either. We're in the same, business. We don't do that. We can talk about it on the podcast, but that's not our business. That's the Rich Chow and the Mike Hogan and the Scott Coker decision. But I like her as a person. I've been around her a couple times, at some of the events, super nice. I think because of the inactivity of her fights and the broken forearm, the injuries, being plagued with injuries, I don't know how many more fights you're going to get out of her, without more injuries. So that's kind of, I think that will hinder what she makes. And will she be active? Will she get 2 or 3 fights a year, or is she going to fight once a year? When did she fight last? Rachel Ostovich, she fought in 2019. So like January 2019. That's it's a year and a half ago. That's a long time. So if I'm banking on trying to market someone to try and, get more people into the, I guess I can't say into the venues because no one's in the venues right now, but to get more people to tune in, it's kind of hard. I think
it is. But all right, let's take a look though. Take a look at the fight after.
I want to talk about the fight before.
Okay. Which one?
The main event on the undercard.
Oh, did I not tell you before?
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Thank you very much.
But it wasn't looking good for him in the first round.
Oh, that's the way he fights.
Okay.
Every time. He's nuts.
Yeah, I saw.
Yuri is crazy.
Yeah.
But he's fun to watch.
You know, he reminded me a little bit of, I don't want to say a Dominic Cruz because he didn't look that good. But he reminded me of, remember when Travis Brown tried to mimic Dominic Cruz in one of the fights where he tore his knee or something like that? He kind of reminded me of that. Like a little bit of that weird style. I mean, without the, Travis, I don't think he ever really talked a whole lot of shit. But he just kind of reminded me of that, like really kind of gangly, weird, try to switch his stance a lot. And he did a great job. He was getting clipped a little bit in the first. Looked like he started getting tired, a little bit of an adrenaline dump. Came out in the second and was able to get his win, I think, between rounds. I think also, too, Ozdemir started thinking, okay, I'm touching him now in the first. We're only in the first. Wait till I get my hands on you in the second. And he was able to touch him clean in the first round a couple times, knock him off balance, made it look like it was more than really what it was. But the second round, I think he came in a little bit overconfident, like, yeah, you're not on my level, and it ended up costing him. Especially, I think it was right after that head kick. Kind of rocked him a little bit, kind of got him, I wouldn't say on stilts, but got him thinking like, oh, wow, that really did hit me clean. And then, Yuri just able to come forward and was able to hit him clean. Nice work. I was very impressed.
That left right was clean.
Yes, I was very impressed.
And this is back when Yuri was in Ryzen. I did a fight of his. This is what told me everything about him, because he fought Vadim Nemkov, and it was a 10-minute round, first round. And Nemkov was putting it on him. He was all over him. And Yuri was so tough and just kept taking it and never quitting and never giving in and always working to try to get out. And then he put back in a bad position to the point he made Nemkov work so hard. At the end of the 10 minutes, Nemkov couldn't get off of the mat. He had beaten up Yuri for 9.5 minutes of it. He took 30 seconds of damage, and he was done in the fight because he couldn't get rid of a guy that just wouldn't quit. And then he ended up going against Molal. He got knocked out by Molal, but then came back later and beat Molal. And from that point where he lost to Mo, he hasn't lost since. I think he might have had one in there, but I don't think he has. And he is just incredibly tough. He's hit super hard. He's got a big right hand, and he's awkward, and he's hard to deal with because of how awkward he is.
Yeah.
And he's going to be a problem for everyone in that division. And this is what goes to show you these guys are out there. Okay. I worked with, Yuri, long ago. I worked with Petr Yan long ago. And these are the guys that I say, hey man, there's guys out there. I'm telling you, they can fight with anyone in the UFC right now. And Petr Yan is now a champion. And Yuri just went and beat a guy that fought for the title, beat the number 7 guy in the UFC. He's the real deal. And these guys are out there all over the place. There are great fighters that can fight with anyone. And that's what Yuri just proved tonight.
Interesting. Yeah, I was very impressed. I felt like a little bit of that, like I said, adrenaline up in the first. And then after you knocked the cobwebs off, and then by coming in the second, he was able to get a groove and a rhythm, and it's like settled in. Okay, here we are. We're in the second round, and
that's hard. That's hard for him coming in to that atmosphere, into that promotion. Hey, that is not easy to deal with. That even it probably was better because of no crowd and everything.
I look at it in a couple different ways. People coming from one promotion into the UFC, from another promotion into the UFC, I feel like they have a leg up, because the people that are already in the UFC have that chip on their shoulder, like they think they're the shit already. And then shit like that happens.
Is that a chip on your shoulder? Or is that is that a good or a bad thing?
I'm just it's a chip, like as in like the overconfidence, the cockiness, the arrogance of like you've been fighting in the low level shows. And I kind of feel when Eddie came to one, that Nastyuk and felt the same way. Like, oh, you're coming from the UFC to our show. You think you're going to beat me. Guys that are from another show, they're like, yeah, fuck you. We have like that. They have that feeling. The UFC guys, and I'm not saying Eddie did that. I'm simply saying that he just got clipped and caught. And Timothy's got fucking big dogs, nasty hands. But I've found that because I've had a lot of friends that have fought in the UFC, and it just we all have a little bit of that. Guys that have fought in the UFC, when they come over, other people come over to that promotion, they have that like, this guy, he's never fought anyone like me. That's bullshit. They fought plenty of people like you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and they've probably fought guys that are better than you. In some podunk little show in Nebraska or some shit, some corn-fed dude. But the bottom line is that the confidence, I think sometimes the overconfidence will cost him. And I think with Volkan Ozdemir tonight, I think it cost him a little bit going into that second round. I don't think he was overconfident in the first round. But as he started touching him and then kind of, Yuri's kind of like off balance with some of the way he throws strikes. So it made it look like he hurt him, I think, more. And I don't know if Ozdemir got a little bit more confident and cocky. Not cocky, but just overconfident. And I can't get my words out tonight. Got a little bit more overconfident. And I think it led into the second round of like, okay, I've been touching him in the first. Here we go in the second. I'm going to put this guy away, or I'm going to really do some real damage. He left himself open, and I think the head kick was the beginning of the end.
Oh, no doubt that the head kick set everything up, because from that point, it was backpedaling time for Volkan. But hey, these things happen, and the hard part for Volkan is he didn't really have anything to win going with this fight, because he's not going to get the credit if he beats Yuri. He's not going to get the credit he deserves, because he's beating a really good fighter, a really tough guy. If he gets that win, and then no one's, everyone's gonna say, oh, he came from Ryzen, he sucks. And if you lose, then it's really a step backwards. And so it's a step backwards for him. And but Yuri, for him, it's a grand entrance into that promotion, and congratulations for it. You deserve it. You worked hard, and you made it happen.
I want to point out one more thing. As much as I hate to say this, Michael Bisping brought up something tonight. And he said that Yuri had basically been offered a UFC contract before, and he had turned it down. Basically saying that, like, hey, I'm not quite ready yet. Like, I am ready to go. I just want to make sure that when I do go, that I can make a run at the title. Not just show up, win one, lose one, win one, lose one, and then have to fight from there.
Smart young man.
I thought that was brilliant. I thought that was a great idea. I get too many people that think they're just going to jump right in the UFC. I'm going to take over. And next you know, they're fucking 0-3 and they're out, and UFC don't care about you anymore. And until you get 6 or 7 more fights strung in a row against named guys, you won't be back. And so I got to tip my hat, man, to him. Well played. Very, very well done. Good job. Worked out for the best.
This is that whole thing that we talk about. Hey, you're a fighter, you're a business. You have to run your own business. You have to be in control of your business, because you're the only person that can make that business run and work. Don't make bad decisions. And he didn't. He made good decisions. He didn't go to the UFC when they offered him a contract 3 years ago. He went to Ryzen. He got a lot more fights. He got a lot of experience, and that experience is now paying off, and he's going to do well.
He probably got paid pretty well at Ryzen, though.
I'm sure he did.
I would imagine he got paid pretty well there.
But this is the whole point, is he's betting on himself.
Yeah.
Because when he goes to Ryzen, yes, he's making money. But like you always say, winning solves everything. If you're winning, you're going to get those things.
Yep.
And you've got to bet on yourself. I can go here and perform and win, and then get that opportunity to go back there when I feel that I'm ready.
Yeah.
So,
Smart call. Smart call.
I love it. Love it.
The fight after Paige was Rose.
Oh,
and just gone Josh.
Good fight, man.
That could have been the main event.
Oh,
that was a fucking phenomenal fight.
It was way better than the main event. Just being honest. Come on. I didn't
want to say it, but
come on, it was way better.
It was.
Both of those ladies were going after it. Rose looked so good in the first and second round. Mm-hmm. She was putting it on technically. Look at the footwork. Look at the way she was laterally moving. coming in, boom, 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 exiting out. It was picture perfect. It was art. It was like watching a master. I loved every moment. And you look, and I give Jessica credit. She's trying to use that head movement. Bisping was talking about the head movement. It was a little exaggerated at times, but that's what she had gotten to. But man, she was taking some shots, but she is so tough. She just kept coming after Rose, taking lunging, advances at her, trying to hit her with big shots. Then in the third round, she got her opportunity. It was not enough, but I can't believe one of the judges went and gave the fight to Jessica. There's no way she won 2 rounds in that, but the right person got the win. That's the most important thing. Yeah. And it was an impressive performance. Now, and now you can do a third fight. They're 1-1. Somewhere along the way, you can put them back.
Yeah,
but
I think
Rose just got herself a chance at Weili because of it.
Yeah, I think so for sure. Rose looked tired. She looked tired in that third round. She was snapping those punches in the first 2. Look, the bottom line is this. It is really hard to stay long and lanky for 3, 4, 5 rounds. Yeah. Carrying those 4 and 5 ounce gloves out there, that at the length and the range that she is, it's exhausting, and she's trying to snap it at the end of the punch. She did a phenomenal job, like you said, in the first 2 rounds.
Oh,
the head movement of Jessica, it was effective, but it didn't start getting effective until the end of the second. But then as well, was the head movement was there in the first and the second as well. But the problem was she wasn't throwing off of it. She just kept, like you said, over exaggerated. Yeah, she was moving and moving, but nothing was coming off of it.
Coming with any kind of shots.
Yeah. And not only that, but it was more side to side versus slipping in on either side of the punch to counter.
Slipping an angle to her right, slipping an angle to the left.
Yep. And trying to get to the hip. So anytime she threw the jab, you got to slip to the outside and try to get to the hip, either for a body lock or for a snatch single or to step off and hit to the right hand or drag the left hook into the right hand, whatever it is. She just wasn't doing it. She was just comfortable with making her miss. Well, that shit gets tiring. It gets exhausting, like just making a miss if you can, which in the early fight, she wasn't making her miss. Rose was fucking hitting her with everything, with making her just Pez dispenser. She was just snapping her head back. But I got to tell you, Jessica came out in that fucking third round and she was nasty. That's the way she should have fought the first 2. She slipped and threw and body locked and tried to get taken. She made it a dog fight. I don't know what she was waiting for in the first 2 rounds. And if I'm a fighter and I go back and watch that fight, I don't know what her corner was telling her in the first 2 rounds, but why the fuck didn't they tell her to do that sooner? I didn't get that.
Did you hear her corner? Okay,
no, I didn't.
They're right with one of them, but you won those 2 rounds.
Oh God. No.
I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? How are you even saying that to your fighter? Okay. If you are not 100% positive that your fighter won that round, hey, don't know what it is. Don't know what the score is. Hey, you're behind. Don't sit there and tell her she's winning when there's no freaking way in the world she's winning that fight right there.
Yeah.
They did. I thought the right thing would do is, hey, I need you to go out here and I need you to get after her. I need you to dominate her in this round. You either have to dominate her or you have to finish her to get this win. That's what she should have done. That's what they should have done.
If you guys are fighters and you guys listen to this podcast, you guys got to tell your corners to listen to this podcast, okay? Because I'm getting sick of hearing these corners say like, oh, yeah, you won that round, or oh, yeah, that round was close. No, you actually got murdered in that round.
No, you got your ass handed to you.
Yeah, I don't understand what fucking your coaches are seeing, but you guys got one thing you have to rely on your corners to be is honest with you. If they can't be honest with you, you're going out there thinking, oh, I won that round. Or in reality, you're not fucking being real with yourself. You know whether you won that round or not. Like, I would come back sometimes and be like, it was a close round. I'm like, did I win it or was it too close? And Bob would always say, too close. Why even ask? Like, it's too close. Huh? I'm like, well, maybe I thought something landed better than it really did, but it really didn't. But as a fighter, you only remember phases of the round. You remember certain parts, the parts where you did really well and the parts you got really fucked up, and sometimes you don't remember those because you got really, really fucked up.
Really fucked up.
But it's that part that I think the corners need to be 100% honest with their fighters. So they don't go out there and twiddle around in the second or third round thinking they won the round before or the 2 rounds before. And I feel like that probably cost her the fight. I didn't hear that, what you heard. But if you're saying that her corner told her she won that round, no.
Yeah.
I mean, because if she would have fought the way she fought in the third, in the second, or in the first, I think this whole fight would have been a way different fight.
Possibly could have won.
Different fight. Yeah.
Yep.
Honestly, both of them. I was kind of a fan of Jessica Andrade, but I follow her on social media, and she's always got a smile on her face. She's always super sweet. She's always very polite, like kind of people that interact with her on her page. And I got to tell you, this is like kind of the first time I've really sat down and watched all of her fight all the way through, like glued to the TV and be like, okay, let me see what she can do. Let me see, like, get into it. I was very, very thoroughly impressed. Outside of the fact that I was more mad at her corners, like slip and throw. I didn't hear we just talked about, you winning the round, that from the corner. But the third round was everything she needs to do. If they do fight again, that needs to be your game plan. Your game plan is already laid out. Rose is going to do what she does. She's going to snap the jab, try to catch you the right hand, couple little head kicks, whatever it is, mix it up a little bit. But she ain't trying to take her down. She's going to try to stick and move. She needs to get busy. I think Jessica had some good leg kicks in the fight. She just didn't go to the well enough. She needs to go to the well more on that. I think the game plan's already been laid out, I think, by Joanna on just kicking that lead leg, because Rose got such a wide stance and she's got such long legs. Kick the lead leg, try to land the body shot, try to land the big shots or get into the body lock and try to get the takedown. I think if they do fight another time, I like to see it as a title shot. I like to see it as a 5-round fight.
Yeah. Whatever it is, they're 1-1. Both of them have had great performances because, in the first fight, Rose was doing beautifully again. And it was getting inside, getting to a high crotch and, using what is your advantage, her strength. Jessica Andrade is super strong in that weight class. She can pick any girl up and drop that girl on their head at any time. So you got to be careful when you have someone, it goes back to the old Matt Hughes. There are those people out there that they just have that, man, when they can get those hands together and get them around your body, they can lift you up, control your body, and bring you down in a position that you don't want to come down. That's what Jessica can do. And she's got good stand-up. I'm not saying she doesn't, but it's that strength that she brings to the fight. Most girls can't match up with it, and that's an advantage.
Matt Hughes probably the most strongest individual I've ever locked up with. Absolutely,
I'm telling you right now. Look, he was a 170-pound fighter. And I would, screw around with Matt. Matt was just farm boy strong.
Insane.
He was strong.
Insane. We were out doing an autograph signing in Hawaii, and we were tussling around a little bit, and I was like, good God. Like, no, I wouldn't say tussling around. He was fucking throwing me around, like ragdolling me. And then also too, like, how your dad grabs your arm, like, come here, boy. That's how I felt. So he fucking a couple times just grabbed me, like, boom, around my bicep. And I was like, gosh, he would do that shit to me, like, randomly. Because once he realized he was, jeez, he would just grab me and once, come here. I was like, son of a, get off me.
I'll give you a little story. One time we were shooting a commercial at my gym, and Matt was doing the commercial, and I had this guy that worked for me. His name was Mike Garcia, and he loved Matt Hughes. Just thought, oh my God, I got to meet Matt Hughes, right? And so I told Matt, hey, this guy's going to come up to you. He is a huge fan of yours, but he's a smart ass. And he's going to tell you something, I don't know what, about how good he is. And that, you know what? I might be able to take you.
Shut up.
I said, I swear to God. And sure enough, on cue, absolutely, he does it, right? But I had told Matt, I said, hey, when he does, just spin him. I want you to get him in a choke. I said, he's going to tap right away and don't let go of it. Just put him unconscious, right? So Matt goes, oh, should I? I go, oh, yeah, you should, right? Right? Oh, yeah, right? So he does, the whole thing, right? Mike comes up to him, I think I could take you. Boom.
Oh, no.
Spins him, starts choking him, and he's tapping right away. And Matt does not stop. He continues to choke, and you see the panic in Mike's face. It's like, oh my God, he's not stopping. He's playing the drums, right? And right to the point where I said, that's enough. And Matt lets go. And he goes, he tried to kill me.
Jesus.
I said, oh, you could beat him. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I was kidding. Uh-huh. Matt was strong.
I love being out at like restaurants or bars, and there's always at least one or two guys that'll be like, I used to box when I was younger. I wrestled in high school. I wrestled in college. I'm like, gosh, man. Okay. I get it. I
good
understand.
For you. And good for you.
I think when I'm about your age, I might be saying the same stupid shit. Probably, man. Probably. The next fight, that was Max, right?
Another good fight. Aldo versus Yan.
Oh, Aldo versus Yan.
Go ahead.
I really wanted Aldo to win. I text you right before. I said I'm going to go with Aldo. Look, it was looking real promising. I felt like in the first and second round when the leg kicks made Yan start switching his stance, he started becoming real hesitant with his hands.
I was very happy to see Aldo actually go back to using the leg kick, at least at a rate that was way above what he'd been doing for the last 3 years or so. You know, because that used to be one of his most effective tools, and he just got away from it.
Yeah,
he definitely practiced, and he went back to it. And I don't know, maybe he had some kind of leg injury. Maybe he did something to his shin that, hurt it to where now it's hurting him to do the same kicks. I don't know, but it definitely changed his style, and it changed who he was as a fighter.
Yeah, I thought for sure he was going to win that fight, especially as the second round was playing out, and he was landing the leg kicks, making Peter switch his stance. I mean, I had Jose winning the first round. I wasn't sure if he won the second. It was close.
You had who winning?
Jose won was it the first?
Yeah, he did not win the first. He got dry. He almost got finished because he got hit with a body shot on the ground.
Oh, that's right, at the very end. Yeah, that's very end.
Not even close.
That's right.
Petr Yan.
Yeah, so it was the second round. Sorry, I'm getting the rounds.
Second round he won, yes.
Yeah, I wanted him to win. So I was like, I got this. Like, God, he's got it. He's got it.
Was there.
And when he started kicking, and I had him, he was winning that round, the first round. Sorry, that's why. He was winning the round up until that body shot at the end of the ground and pound. And I got to tell you, I had never seen Petr Yan on top. Like on top position. And you could just tell Jose had no answer for him on top. And anytime Peter was on top of him, I was like, dude, put your feet on his hips and kick him back. Do something to get up. He kicked him back one time after you got hit to the body. Kicked him back, and then he just laid back to his back. I'm like, what are you doing? Get up.
What are you doing?
And then when he shot that takedown and Peter threw his leg over the top, he shot the takedown and Jose ended up on bottom. There was a moment there where they had a scramble and Jose could have got to his feet, and he didn't. He laid back to his back. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Get to your feet. I think he thought maybe he was losing in the scramble or something, and he just decided, like, I'll play it safe. I'm kind of winning the round. I'll just go to my back. No, nothing's going to happen. They got hit with that nasty, like, rib shot or body shot, and it changed. You said he lost that round. I had him winning the rest of that round, but I mean, that was only a minute in the last round, in the first round, that he lost it, but he did get hurt. So I don't know. It was a close round. I had Jose winning the first round up until that body shot. So, but then Jose won the next, the next two?
He won the second. I believe he won the third.
I think he won the third too. And then he lost the fourth, obviously. You could just tell. Now, let me ask you this. Was that from the weight cut? The fatigue, he slowed down a lot. It wasn't a little bit. It was a lot.
Come on. This is what we talked about, though. I said at 145, he used to start to slow down in the later rounds. It was always, you could see, and now it didn't mean that he wasn't winning, because the guys he was fighting, he still would win rounds, but you could see the progression of what he was doing slowed down. The offensive output really slowed down. And he's always been that guy that, go back to Mark Hominick when he fought Hominick at 129 in Toronto. Yeah. Think about it. fifth round, he had put it on Hominick for first, second, third, even the fourth round. Fifth round, Hominick starts putting it on him. He can't get up from the ground. He was tired.
Yeah.
I can tell you, I was the referee of that fight. He was tired. And
Hominick got that big hematoma on his head, huh?
Yes, he did.
Jeez, that thing was nasty.
Yeah, it was a good one. But, Jose has always had that. He tends to tail off. And now at 135, that was the real question. For me, you get into the fourth, fifth round after the weight cut, and I will tell you, he looked fantastic, I thought. Physically, he looked really good. He looked relaxed. In the first round, he was fighting really well, and his speed, the one thing that's very difficult is for a guy to come down in weight, we talk about, and match that speed, and his speed was definitely there. So he looked good, but you could see that he was starting to tail off. And after that, in the middle of the third round, I go, he's getting tired. In fact, I texted you and said, he's getting tired.
Yeah.
And it just, from that moment, it just started to go downhill. And it's all because of he's not as offensive. He doesn't throw as many techniques, and that allows his opponent to, in turn, start throwing offensive techniques towards him, and they're not coming in the direction of the opponent, and the tables just start to turn.
Yeah, I think early in his career, he could afford to tail off in the fourth and fifth because he'd already done so much damage to the people. They started fearing him going in the fourth and fifth. But as now he's getting a little bit older. What is he? Only like 33.
He's only like 33.
I know. God, this guy's been fucking fighting forever, it seems like.
And he's still a really good fighter.
So good.
God,
so
he's good.
Yeah, he starts to slow down, and now the younger guys are like, hey, I'm still here. And I can tell if I just keep pushing you that I can potentially get you out of here. Look, I don't know if I was overly impressed with Petr Yan, though. Like, if I was to put him against Henry Cejudo, I would take Henry.
Well, I would have taken Henry already.
Yeah.
Before this fight. But that's because I believe Henry can take Peter and put him in places that he doesn't want to be.
Yeah, and I think Henry's definitely faster.
Yes.
So if the speed along with the wrestling makes for a very dangerous person. And plus, I think just in that grittiness, that Moraes fight with Henry Cejudo really just fucking won me over, man.
Just cemented the deal.
Just cemented the fact that, like, dude, you are just a fucking junkyard dog. You're that guy. Just like get in there and just like, I don't care. I'll stick a move on the outside and I'll wrestle you if I have to. But then when going gets tough, I'll just get in there and get dirty.
If I had to bite down on this mouthpiece and just throw and let you touch me so I can touch you, it's going to happen.
Yeah, very impressive, man. So Sterling obviously had said some stuff. Henry Cejudo had said some stuff on Twitter. Sterling said nice stuff, and then Henry talked a lot of shit. And then who was the other? Was it Moraes? Yeah, Moraes, I think, said like, oh, this guy won't last a couple rounds with me. I don't know. I mean, like, realistically, Sterling's going to get the next shot. Marlon Moraes will probably be after that. And then you've got Henry's just on sabbatical. I know he's retired, but I mean, outside, I would really like to see the Volkanovski fight that Henry had talked about.
Oh, that's,
yeah.
That's where it's really, I personally love what Henry Cejudo is doing because this is when we talk about it, and we talked about it with John Jones and how he tried to set up the Francis Ngannou fight. And I said, he didn't do it right.
No.
And not, I love the fact that he tried to set it up, but he didn't let it play out the way it needed to play out. So he put himself in a position where the UFC were the ones saying, hey, do you want to fight this fight? And he goes, I'll do it, and so then it becomes about, all right, now it's just down to a price.
Yeah.
Well, with Cejudo, Cejudo's in a position, he's the bantamweight champion because he gave up the flyweight belt, but he's the bantamweight champion. And then he says, hey, I'm going to walk away. I'm done. I'm retiring. Thank you, Uncle Dana, or whatever he says. And he goes off, and then he comes back a week later and says, yeah, you want me to come back? Yeah, I would come back for Volkanovski.
Mm-hmm.
And he just puts it out there, and that's it. You want me to come back? Yeah, put me against Volkanovski. All right. and hasn't played it out. And then, Dana's come out. I don't like that fight. Do you think Dana doesn't like the fight? No, it's not that he doesn't like the fight. It's right now he's like, I don't have to do it. And I've got all these guys that I think can work out. Let me see what happens. But with Volkanovski, yeah, he would like to see Henry Cejudo fight him. He just doesn't want to pay Henry what Henry wants to make to bring him back. But Henry's in that position. They know exactly what they need to do to bring him back. And he's sitting in the driver's seat. Because if he sits there and says, hey, I don't have to fight, I'm retired, it's okay.
Well,
as long as he believes that and he goes with it, it's great. Because they always know if Volkanovski continues to win, they always know, hey, we can always offer it to Cejudo. And Cejudo will come back. And people will watch. Henry started to get people interested in who he was as a person, as a fighter. And he put on great performances. You can't say anything about his last, 5 fights were phenomenal.
Yeah, you can't. There's a couple things. Dana's slow playing it because there was a reason why he slow played it. It was for a couple reasons. The number one reason was because I think he thought if Max did win this fight, I would get a third fight between Volkanovski and Max and make more money. And I can always run back to Henry and be like, hey, let's talk about it now. Like if Volkanovski does lose or does win, which he did tonight, which I don't think he did. We'll get into that in a little bit. But so Volkanovski wins. Now, do you run it back because it was so controversial with Max and get another fight out of it? Or do you throw Henry in there? Or who else is next in line there? Who's next in line for the 145-pound title?
Well, you got a lot of guys that you could look at, for the 145-pound. You got Zabit. Come on, Zabit is good. Yeah, what's he got?
Bryan Ortega.
Still undefeated. You got Bryan Ortega.
Korean
Zombie.
Yair's fighting somebody. Who's Yair fighting?
I don't know who Yair's fighting.
He's fighting a tough guy. Good fight.
On top of that, you've got other,
Zabit. He's fighting Zabit.
I said, okay, dude, what a fight that would be.
That'll be fun. That'll be fun. I'm not a Yair fan, but
I think he's phenomenal.
Yeah, whatever.
Come on. He is so good.
I don't know about this light being here, man. Dave, I got to be able to see your ugly mug, dude. This is not the way I want this filming to be set up anymore. Okay, I got to be able to see your ugly ass mug. Yeah, move it, because I got to be. I need you to. For some reason, I need to see that smirk on your face. Look, Yair. I'm not saying he's not fun to watch. I'm not saying that I like the way he fights. I just. The whole thing when he left and tried to get more money and then came back and went cowering back to Dana and the UFC, it just rubbed me the wrong way. It is the way it is. Okay, who knows? Maybe later on I'll like it.
Hold on. I want you to think about this. Dave, pull up. How old is Yair Rodriguez right now?
He's got to be like, what, 24?
25?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how many years ago was that now?
No, I don't know. He's 27. So that was probably about, I think it was about 2 years ago. 3, maybe? 3?
Yeah, so do I. I'll say two to 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So he was 24, 25.
Yeah.
All right. He's young.
Yeah.
He thinks I've got a power play. And then he goes, oh, they're getting rid of me. I made a mistake. He's young.
I would fire my management if they fucking let them do that. How fucking dumb are they? Oh, man. Anyways, look, there's no doubt he's entertaining. He's fun to watch. He's fun. And that should be a great fight. Him and Zabit should be a wonderful fight.
Him and Zabit should incredible.
Should be an absolute barn burner. The winner of that will probably get the title shot, I would imagine, next. Unless they throw together the Henry fight. Or I honestly could really see Dana going, let's throw Max back in there because that was a horrible decision. I could see him doing that. I'm sorry, but the Hawaiian market is just such a big market, man. It's always been since BJ Penn. You've got, like they just follow their fighters no matter what, and they buy pay-per-views, and that's what they do. And
let's talk about that fight now because Max Holloway got, I don't want to say robbed.
Yeah, you like that term.
He got jobbed because he definitely won that fight.
Is that like a robbery and a blowjob?
Is
that a robbery and a blowjob? What is that?
There are certain people that were. This is where I have a problem, and the UFC. They're responsible for the people that are their officials there. This isn't the British Mixed Martial Arts Council that is doing the inspector job and things. It's the UFC. You pick some really bad people to be your judges because they do not have the levels that it takes to be in the position they are and to judge some of those fights, because the Volkanovski fight was not that hard of a fight to judge.
Yeah.
Max was tooling him in the beginning of that fight. I'll give Volkanovski coming on in the end. Okay. But there's no way that he won 3 rounds of that fight. Did not happen. Impossible. Sorry. I don't know what the hell you're looking at. I wrote the rules that you go by for your criteria, and you're not freaking following them.
Wow.
There you go.
Okay, so I had it 3-2. Would you have it?
I had it 3-2.
Yeah, so you had Volkanovski winning 4 and 5.
Yep. And you almost could have gone and said, I could have made it 49-46 for Holloway, giving him the 4th round.
Yeah, it was
the
close.
5th round, one of the two.
No, the 4th. I had
Fourth
Volkanovski winning the 5th. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Max looked like he started getting tired towards the end there. I don't know if it's like going to the roast thing, the long punches, keeping the distance. Look, I think the difference in this fight, even though I know Max lost, but I feel like, look, you and I got fucking murdered in our comment section saying like, oh, this fight was not this fight, but the first one. I don't know how you guys think that fight was fucking close. It was not close. Volkanovski destroyed him. There's nothing Max can do to make this fight close again. There's no way Max is winning this fight. Look, even though he lost on the scorecards,
he didn't lose.
He didn't lose this fight. The other thing as well, what do you mean that he couldn't do something different? He did a lot of things different. Stuck and moved better, used his lateral movement better. He kicked a lot more, which changed the dynamic of the fight.
Volkanovski off towards his right side, so he landed that straight right hand. He did all kinds of cool things. Volkanovski's tougher than hell. I'll give him credit. And look, the very first fight, I told people Volkanovski's going to win, and this is why. And I gave him the reasons why I thought Volkanovski was going to beat Max. And in this one, I said, I think Volkanovski's going to win it again, but it's going to be closer. I would like to see Max win, but I think it'll be an actual really good rematch, and I don't think Volkanovski's going to get rid of him like he was saying. I said, show me the guys that get rid of Max.
Yeah.
Just doesn't happen a whole lot.
Yeah, I thought Max, but he made a ton of changes. And if you guys are at home, don't understand what those changes are, then I don't like to throw around the word casual, but that's kind of what you are. But look, bottom line is that he added the kicks. He used a lot more of his lateral movement, changed directions on a lot of things. The kicks
kept Volkanovski from being able to move forward when he wanted.
And every time he did move forward, he used his lateral movement left and right. And every time you do that, it makes them stop and turn, and you can never just keep pressuring him forward. When he does that, if you pressure them to go backwards, which he was able to do in the 4th and the 5th, that's how he got to the body lock. That's how he got the inside trip. That's how he was able to get to those positions, is because he was able to stop Max from, or keep Max from standing right in front of him. If he's able to stand right in front of him, he's able to get to the body lock, able to get to the wrestling positions, he's able to get the takedowns. Max did a wonderful job tonight. I thought Max won the fight. I had it 3-2. I could have given Max, I believe, the 4th. Yeah. Now, I don't know how much I believe the fact that he was just doing Zoom classes. I don't know what the hell that's all about. It's garbage. If you look that good on just Zoom classes, I would just say just keep doing Zoom classes. I don't know what you were doing, but it was phenomenal. And I said this, I don't know how many times, from before. All you got to do is make a couple little tweaks and believe in himself, knowing that he had a tough fight with Dustin Poirier. He had a tough fight with Volkanovski. Those are things that happen, but he wasn't even to go out there and rewrite how he fights. He just needed to make a couple changes, but he also needed to build on the confidence of being the champion, or believing that he was the champion that he has been, and if he was able to do that, the performance he gave tonight was exactly what he needed to do to be a winner. I don't know what the judges saw. I don't know what the fuck they were looking at, but I had definitely had him winning the fight, and I tip my hat to him for coming back and being a true champion. He's a phenomenal fighter, and I'm always a fan. Will always be a fan. I loved watching him fight. I love watching him fight, and so I hope that Dana does the right thing and gives him an automatic rematch. I hope so. I would like to think
he
that.
Can.
How do you not though? If he's supposed to be the greatest,
this was an automatic rematch, basically.
If he is supposed to be the greatest,
Volkanovski and I agree with you, Josh, but this was the second fight in a row between these two gentlemen. Yeah. So you got to say, I can't do a third in a row. I got to give Volkanovski another challenger, and I've got to give Max other opponents, and then he wins those. I'll bring them back together. I don't know. That's the way I think it's going to be.
Who do you give him? Who's that? Let me see that. Let me see the thing again there.
Who do you give who? Volkanovski?
No, Max. He's already beat Bryan Ortega. Maybe Korean Zombie.
You could give him Korean Zombie. You can give him Yair.
Oh, Josh Emmett or Calvin Kattar.
Hello.
Cater. Is it Cater?
2 more.
I always say Kattar.
Calvin Cater.
Cater. You say Cater. I say Kattar. Tomato. Gives a shit.
Kattar is like Qatar. No.
I don't even know. CTE. Yeah, you can give him Korean Zombie. You can give him Josh Emmett. You can give him Calvin.
Well, you can't give him Josh Emmett because Josh is out.
Oh, what happened? He
tore his knee out in his fight with Burgos.
He's older too, right? Isn't he like 35? Yeah, that's tough. That's tough, man. That guy, he's had a shitty run, man. But remember what he got signed in the UFC or something like that, or he was in a show. It was a Dana White's Contender Series where he tore his ligament in his thumb. And his bone
that was
sticking
his
out.
first UFC fight.
That was his first UFC
Jesus,
fight.
His finger was like fillet open.
Yeah, it was not looking good. God. The bone was sticking out.
Yeah, it's disgusting. Yeah, Podcast Dave's such a Josh Emmett fan. I like Josh Emmett. I've had him. I did an interview with him one time, and
some bitch can hit.
He's got dogs.
Barking dogs.
Fun to watch. Okay, so next fight, come on. Well, that was the main event, right?
There it is.
What do you think?
I think we're done.
So upsetting.
It just was not, well, let's look at it. You saw Masvidal. I think one of the judges gave Masvidal the first round. 2 of the judges gave it to Usman. I think you could have given it to Masvidal as far as he landed a lot more shots. You saw Usman get the takedown off of catching the kick. He was on top. Didn't really do much for damage. But, But right away, you saw that adrenaline dump out of Masvidal.
Yeah.
And I said, he just had a big adrenaline dump. You can see it. His arms are heavy. The grappling part of just seeing Usman push him against the fence. A lot of people are not going to like that style of fighting. It's not fun to watch. It's, even I don't, say that's the fight I want to see, but I do appreciate how effective that grinding, dirty fight is. And when you're Usman and you're pushing him against the cage and making him hold that weight with your arms, those arms that are a fast twitch muscle fiber arm, that he does have a fast jab, and he's got a beautiful right cross that he throws, or if he switches his feet, he switches that up. But it's hard when your arms are heavy from holding Usman in position so he can't drop in on your legs, and all of that energy he put out. You saw eventually Masvidal was using that position to try to gain rest and try to get himself back so he gets some air. He just didn't have the conditioning that he needed for that fight, and the way that fight played out. He went out there with almost that 1 round mentality. Let me get him out in the first round. Let me hurt him with my hands so he doesn't take the shots. Let me get this to where it's going my way, and it just never went his way.
Yeah. I guess that's kind of what you expect from someone who took a fight on 6 days' notice.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is.
Like, let me try to get him out there in the first round. If I don't get him out in the first round, okay, I'll pick and choose my shots and, and try and get my back off the fence, which he never tried to do. He just kind of was cool hanging out there in the second and third round. I was like, that kind of made it even more exhausting.
Yep.
There was moments there where he had opportunities to circle off the fence. Obviously, look, you guys, I'm saying all this. It's fucking way easier said than done. I'm saying it. I'm like,
especially against someone like Usman.
Yeah, I mean, like, just circle off. Look, I thought Usman was gonna be a lot big. Like, I thought Usman was gonna be a lot bigger than him. Absolutely not. George's a big ass boy, and He's huge. He's a huge guy. Like when you see the two of them face to face in the cage, I was like, wait, you guys are about the same size. You know,
he used to fight 155.
I know, but he was like really small waist. Like you could see he had like tree trunk legs, but really small waist. But he cut a ton of weight, I think is what he was saying from back in the day. He looked good, man. I thought he looked good in the first round. He got a good snap on his punches. His kicks were dynamite. I'm surprised more people don't kick the calf on Usman. You know, because he's got kind of a wider boxing stance. And I had texted you this in the first round. He got hit with some clean shots in the first round. When they went back to the corner, I was like, I sure hope, because he was training with, what's the guy's name? Trevor Whitman?
Trevor Whitman?
I said, I sure hope, training with a new kickboxing guy, this guy's not in the corner telling him, yeah, you're looking good on the feet. Shut up. Get to wrestling. Get to wrestling, man. Like, I'm sorry, I've seen it way too many times. Ronda Rousey, all of a sudden training with a boxing coach, she can beat Floyd Mayweather. Get the fuck out of here. Okay? You know, it's like you sometimes get a little overconfident because something's working in the gym and the stand-up that you're working with the mitts. Then you spar.
Ronda would have beat Floyd in a grappling match.
Yeah.
Okay, see? Right there.
She's bigger than him too, I think. But I think, look, I've seen it too many times. I've seen guys get comfortable on the feet in the gym, start thinking they can stand, and then they, you know, some of the stuff they're working with their coach with on the mitts, it translates into sparring in the gym. But then you get out there in a fight, and you're really fighting in 4-ounce gloves, not 16s, where when you get hit, there's real damage being done, not just like you're getting hit with pillows. It changes the game. And Usman, I felt like in moments there, he thought he could stand in that first round. And I was like, he was getting hit with some clean shots, shrugged him off, you know, really well. But I think in the second round, he's like, okay, look, I don't want to be playing this game too long. So he got back into the clinch, into the grind, pressing him to the fence. I would have liked to have seen. Yeah, I thought it was brilliant on his part. I heard Trevor Whitman going into the 5th round, you know, press him to the fence. When you break, make space, throw punches, and then drop back down on the leg, you know, to kind of make him think you're going to get into exchange with him. Brilliant job. That was good coaching from that part. You know, I guess we saw what we could see from Jorge Masvidal on a 6-day notice fight. Not to mention flying from Florida to Las Vegas, right, for for testing, and then flying from Vegas to
Italy, to Italy, Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, that's a lot,
sit
man.
in a room.
That's a lot. That's crazy.
Not easy.
Hey, so that's why they get paid the big bucks.
That's it.
Yeah, I guess I could say I expected more out of the fight, but to be honest, I've been around situations like that. I've taken fights on short notice like that. It really just comes down to the fact that both fighters had to make the adjustment. One taking the fight and not being in the best shape of his life, and then the other person fighting somebody that they didn't really expect to fight. You know, Dorino was going to be a different style of fight than Jorge Masvidal. You know, Dorino was going to be like, go ahead, take me down. Let's see what happens. I dare you, you know, and I'll stand with you as well. I got to tell you, though, that Usman made me more of a believer tonight. Against Colby on the feet, to me, I'm like, all right, so you outstruck Colby, okay? I have a 5-year-old that could have probably done that. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, when you're talking about stand-up wise, I'm talking about stand-up. You know, when you're talking, you're having those situations, that's what you're saying. But Dorino, like the stand-up, I don't know if would have went his way. Usman's gotten a lot better, and I know he looked good in the Colby fight, but even though there were some shots he took tonight, he had some good stuff. His push kick's doing good for him. Yep. He's got that long 1-2 combination. He doesn't really fight very well in the clinch, but he doesn't need to, only because he's got wrestling. He'll get you down, and when he gets on top of you, good God. His ground and pound was nasty. I heard that shit through the fucking TV, and I was like, ugh. I mean, those elbows he landed, and the short elbows, especially at the end of that first round, or when he got that first takedown in the first round, just gross. I tell you, I walk past the cage now, and I hear guys getting hit like that. I'm like, yeah, I'm so not fighting ever again.
I'm so retired.
I'm so retired. And George out there still doing it like a fucking savage. Absolutely amazing, man. I don't know it wasn't the fight everyone wanted, but I tip my hat to both guys because one had to make the adjustment being the champion with everything to lose. And the other guy had to come in realizing that, hey, I got to get this guy out of here in 1 or 2 rounds or I'm going to be getting my ass kicked or at least, you know, taking some shots I don't want to take. So
you take a look, you know, when you got to give Usman credit. That's 3 guys in a row. Tyrone Woodley, He's the one that put the chink in the armor there. Colby Covington puts the chink in the armor there, and now Masvidal. That's 3 solid wins in a row.
Yeah.
He's proving something.
So Dana White comes out and says that Gilbert Burns is getting the next shot.
Okay.
That's cool. So now where does Masvidal go? Leon Edwards.
Oh, yeah. Especially based off of what happened after the Till fight.
Yep.
And that little exchange they had in the back.
Yep.
That's the fight to make, I think.
Here's the thing. After watching tonight, though, I start thinking that Leon probably out of all the guys has the best chance of beating Usman.
He definitely. Usman cannot stand up and exchange with Leon. But I think Usman can definitely manhandle him into the same type of fight that he just showed against Masvidal.
Yeah, Leon doesn't have the takedown defense that Masvidal has.
Nope. And he doesn't have the ability to get back to his feet the way that Masvidal does.
No, but he does have a better submission game.
Yeah, he's not going to submit Usman.
I'm not saying that, but he can threaten it enough to potentially get to his feet or threaten enough to basically stop a takedown. Those are options. I'm just throwing them out there. Give me devil's advocate here for a second.
Okay. You're okay with it. I'll go with it. I ain't buying it, but I'll go with it.
You don't got to shut me down right off the bat, okay? Jeez.
I love Leon Edwards.
I know.
I think he's so good, but I just think there's a stylistic matchup against Usman that it's tough for him. Yeah, I'll take Leon Edwards. You put him against, even before Woodley lost to Burns, I thought that was we talked about it. That's a hard fight for Woodley.
Yeah.
So it's not that, if you're a wrestler, you're going to beat Leon Edwards. That's not it. It's the type of grinding fighter that Usman is, and he's been doing it now throughout his UFC career. He's done it time and time again, and he's done it to Leon Edwards.
Yeah.
So he's already been in there with him.
Yeah, true. I want to see. I would like to. I think Leon is a different fighter now, though.
No, I agree with that.
So is Usman. So is Usman.
Bingo.
I agree.
His stand-up is so much better than it was back then.
Yeah. True. But it's better, but good enough to get him in trouble. We almost saw a little bit of that tonight. That's the problem. There's the thing. That's the problem. Is that when you have guys that, sure, they're getting better at something, they want to test it against somebody that they've already beaten that potentially will get you in trouble. Now, I'm not saying that he's going to do that. I'm just saying that it could potentially lead to getting you in more trouble. Look,
you got to admit, the man's got a chin. He takes a shot.
He does.
Okay.
He does. Like I said, both guys, given what they were handed tonight, I know it wasn't the fight that everyone wanted to see, but it was definitely the performance that we needed to see for one of them to walk away with the title. Usman walking back home with the title, and George going like, you know what? I didn't really take a whole lot of damage outside the 2 headbutts, and the cuts. I didn't really take a whole lot of damage. I mean, the way he rolls with punches and throws back, the way he avoids taking clear shots, he's so good. And I've heard stories about him at ATT from years ago, how no one would spar with Hector Lombard, when he was the Bellator champ at 185 pounds. Hector would just fucking rip people apart. And they said George would be the only one that would spar with him because Hector would get so pissed because he couldn't hit him. He would just be slipping and moving and ducking, touching and talking shit a little bit like, come on, George. All right, come on, Hector. And just having fun with it, and it would piss Hector off. And I these are just stories that I've heard, but I just think it's a true story. Yeah, I think it's great, man. Like I see it, like how he's done it for so long. You see it now, and I see the way he's still doing it. He's fighting at the highest level. I don't know if you guys I talked about this last week. I think if you guys go back and watch his fight with KJ Noons, probably one of the most amazing displays I've ever seen of stand-up fighting against another stand-up guy. Just touch, kick, touch, boom. Like he was just landing some clean, nasty shots. It was just a one-sided fight the whole time, and just George looked phenomenal. And I've seen that progression since Strikeforce days to UFC days, and he's just gotten so much better, man. He's definitely not done. I know he's got plenty of fights left in him. He's got big money fights left in him for sure. So I'm excited. I get excited to see him fight, man. I would love to see him and Leon. So you have him and
I
Leon.
think that would be a great match.
You got Burns.
That would be fun.
You got Burns and Usman next. That leaves Colby out there in the middle of nowhere to dry. Maybe Tyron Woodley, but then I don't think Colby's going to want that fight just on the fact that he's lost 2 in a row. Like, why take it? Colby and, I mean, there's really no one else. You got Damian Maia, maybe Michael Chiesa.
But got a couple in.
Yeah, Chiesa's on. He's won his last.
Chiesa's on a.
Yeah, he's on. I think he's won his last 2. You know, he just beat someone really impressive. I thought. I was trying to remember his last fight. Who his last fight was? Dos Anjos. Did he beat Dos Anjos?
Dos Anjos? I'm not sure. But it was Diego. Someone. He beat Diego, and then he had. Yeah, he did have another win.
Yeah, he beat Carlos Condit, Diego Sanchez, and then Dos Anjos.
Okay.
So he just beat.
Pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Good stuff.
Nice little three fight run.
Win string, yeah. Okay, so what else, buddy? What else was there? Hey, wait, sorry. Let's go there. Can you pull up the prelims for me?
Yeah.
There was a fight on the prelims that the judge or the ref took away. Mark Goddard took away 2 points for an illegal knee on the head with a down opponent.
Okay.
He'd already kneed the guy in the groin twice.
Okay.
Did you watch that fight?
Tell me, why did he take 2 points?
Because the kid held his head and fucking kneed him right against the cage. It could have been more deliberate.
So why did he take 2 points?
No, I think because he deserved to get taken 2 points.
So let's make it clear for everyone so they understand. Referees can take what points they want as long as it's reasonable for what occurred. But you need to understand, under the unified rules, if you have a fighter that you say created what is an intentional foul and there's any type of damage or injury off of it, you have no choice but to take a minimum of 2 points. You must take at least 2 points.
Oh, wow.
That's the minimum that you can take. You can take 3 if you wanted, but you'd have to say why you took 3 in the situation when the commission came to you. But if you have that intentional foul and there is any type of damage or injury off of it, you have to take 2 points under the rules. Now you know. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah. It couldn't have been, I think, any more deliberate than what he did. He had him on
held
one
the
knee.
head right there. Boom.
And
Did you see the one in the LFA?
Yes.
Oh, you talk about deliberate, and definitely a DQ was in order.
Here's the thing. As a commission, do you start slapping suspension time onto that? Because that was nasty.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
the whole point is this. Not only was it nasty, it's nasty because the fighter who was hit by it was knocked unconscious, and that's damage. And that's damaging to his career because he's not protecting himself from something that he doesn't believe can be done. Now, he had gotten hurt with a punch just a second before, and he had hurt his opponent also, and they kind of separated. His opponent sees and he comes and just runs in and throws a knee when the guy is a grounded fighter. So could he be altering his career forever? Sure. As the commission, can you look and say, hey, not only are you going to be disqualified in this fight and lose the fight, you are now under suspension in my state, and I'm going to give you a 6-month suspension, 9-month suspension, 1 year suspension. And when you have that suspension, that suspension goes on the database that all of the commissions have, and they see that you're under suspension. They won't license you. You can't fight. You're not going to fight not only in that state, you're not going to fight in any state.
Wow. Yeah, that's interesting. Do refs? Okay, I guess let me
have feelings. Yes.
No one cares.
Come on, man. No one gives
no one cares. So remember when UFC was trying to do the fight at Lemoore? There was a lot of, during the COVID situation.
Yep.
Do you remember that? Newsom or Diane, was his name Diane Feinstein? They called Daisy and said, hey, we kind of want it to shut down just to be on the safe side, whatever it is. Had a ref and a judge, or not a judges, taken that fight, would they have been suspended and never been able to work shows again, or given a certain amount of time for working that show, knowing that the commission had said, no, we don't want this fight to happen? If the UFC would have still done it.
Well, first off, could they have been as far as the state of California? If they went to then try, if they were a licensed official in the state and they went and worked that show, they wouldn't be working any more shows in the state of California. It's not going to happen.
Now, how we talked about, how you just said that if a fighter gets suspended in California, that pretty much makes them suspended in Nevada and New York and everywhere else. Mm-hmm. Would that same thing apply to refs and judges?
What will happen is if you are suspended as an official in any state, if you go to another state to try to get licensed, they're going to give you this form that you fill out. And one of the first questions on it is, have you ever been suspended as an official? And you better write in, yes, you have, and explain what happened and why. You're going to have to put in that nice little story of, well, I worked an unsanctioned event in the state. And so that's really the question is, was the event going to be sanctioned? If it was, the officials that were going to work it could say, well, it was sanctioned. No, being sanctioned by the UFC is not being sanctioned. Okay. Especially in North America. Yeah. You're talking about the United States of America or in Canada. There are commissions throughout North America. There is either a tribal commission or a state commission or a provincial commission. And you have got to look and say, hey, I've got to follow what that commission says I can do. I'm not saying that's always fair, but that's just the way it is. And in that situation, if you went and worked for that promotion and it wasn't a regulated event, every commission can sit there and say, we're not going to use you. Yeah. Doesn't mean that they won't. They will. There's some that'll say, oh, I'll use you anyways. Doesn't matter to me. And there's some that'll say, you'll never work here. Just the way it is.
Okay. So now speaking of suspensions, do commissions get involved in scenarios like what we've seen with Mike Perry?
No. As far as commissions are not going to get involved in that, as far as they're not going to do any type of penalty based upon what Mike Perry has done. The one thing that they will do is if the UFC wanted to use Mike Perry in a fight right now, if Mike had been arrested or anything came of that, they can say, we either want clarification on what occurred before we license him, or they can actually say, as a commission, we're not going to license that fighter right now.
Got it.
They do have that option. That license, the easiest way to look at it is this. That license is not a right. It is a privilege. That's the way they look at it. And you have to do the right things to gain that privilege.
You're starting to sound like Dana White. This isn't a career bullshit. So Dana came out and said that he's going to help Mike Perry, get him some counseling and some therapy and things like that.
Good.
That's phenomenal, man.
That's nice to hear.
I know a lot of people like to bash me in the comment sections because I'm always Dana bashing, but you guys need to listen up. I'm giving him credit right now. I think it's amazing. I think it's a great job. Dana's helped me out a couple of times, like way back in 2000, 2001. I had some real bad back problems and neck problems. He sent me to a couple of therapists in Vegas and had them work on me, take care of me, for about a week, and got me walking upright and got me getting ready for some of my fights. So Dana has a good side. Very, very often, not a lot of people get to see it. And sometimes you don't see it very often. So that's the thing. But there is one in there somewhere, and randomly it comes out. And like in this situation, it's good to see that he's helping someone like Mike Perry, who I think probably is a good person in heart. He just he's been misguided pretty much a lot of his life, and could use something like this. And I'm glad that he's willing to help him out and get him some therapy and some help so we could potentially see him fight again. Because no matter what, I love watching the guy fight. Guy's got heavy hands and he's fun to watch.
He's a gamer.
Yeah, win or lose, he's fun. So
he's gonna go out on his shield. I feel, look, everyone's got issues. I don't care who you are. And, maybe Mike has, a little bit of a problem with alcohol. I'm not saying he does, but if he does, hey, He's not the first. He won't be the last. Did he make a mistake? All right, he made a mistake. There's been a lot of guys that have made mistakes. Don't judge everyone. At least ye be judged yourself, as they say. So, give him a chance. He deserves a second chance.
Agreed.
He made a mistake. We have all made them.
There's also some rumors going around that Khabib is retired. Just so you guys, everyone knows this. Ali came out as well and said, because the Russian media ran with something, I guess, apparently that Ali had said, but it really didn't say it. And bottom line is this: Khabib's not making any decisions on whether he's fighting soon, later, retired, nothing. He's taking his time right now to mourn his father and spend time with his family and talk with his teammates, all the other guys, and see exactly how they want to pursue, because he was their coach. He was not just Khabib's coach. He was Islam's coach, Zubai's coach. He was a lot of fighters' coaches. And so they're going to take their time doing this. Now, does that mean we're going to see Justin Gaethje and Khabib in September? I can't tell you. No one can tell you. Nobody knows. Ali doesn't even know. Okay, so anyone that says like, oh, well, Ali said, nobody knows. Let Khabib be him. Let him take his time to mourn his father and spend time with his family and his wife and his kids and his mother especially, and and get his mind right. And I wouldn't want to see him fight soon anyways. I would want to make sure that we get the best Khabib we can get to fight a fucking savage like Justin Gaethje. So, people keep hitting me up that I wanted to touch base on it because I actually saw Ali had posted something today too, talking about how the media had said, turned something around that he had said, saying he was retired. People keep hitting me up in my DMs and on our comment section saying like, hey, when's Khabib going to fight? Is that fight going to start? Nobody knows. Nobody knows what's going on.
Great position for Conor McGregor.
Yeah, very true. Yeah.
Come on. Conor against Justin. Come on.
Yep. Dana came out also and said that I do believe that he will fight again, which I think the door is now open. And yeah, I mean, if you think about it, right, it's a win-win for Dana. If you get Conor to fight Justin, potentially get him out, like whether it's Justin or Conor, whichever one loses, the winner fights Khabib. I mean, I think they would probably lean more towards, Conor winning, obviously, because this the round 2 fight of Khabib and Conor. But it would be there. Anyways, no one knows what's going on. I don't think that he's retired. I don't think he'll do that. I think he will fight at least 1 or 2 more times. I think, but I do think he's going to need time. If you guys have looked at some of his past interviews, man, he held his father at just the highest regard. I mean, just unbelievable. Talked about him all the time, and I've talked about this before. He FaceTimed him sometimes 2-3 times a day. Talked to him about how his training went here in San Jose, how his morning run went, how his afternoon training went, how his evening cardio went. On the phone with his dad all the time, FaceTiming. So, yeah, it's gonna be some time. Just everyone let him be.
His dad was a fairly young man.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't want to say he's my age. Okay.
He was not 75.
Fairly.
He was not 75.
He was not 75. I know he wasn't 75. But way too soon.
Yeah.
Way too soon, and that's tough. And someone needs all the time you can give them to get over that, especially someone that was as close to him, like you're saying.
Yeah.
That we know Khabib was. So, God bless him.
What else? Just to touch base real quick, Bellator will be apparently going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back.
Yep. We will be back on the 24th is what it sounds like.
Back.
Yep. We've got the card is stacked. I cannot release any of those fights to you on what the card will be, but the card is stacked. And I'm excited for that card because I cannot fucking wait to see some fight. I can't wait to call some fights. That's what I can't wait.
There you go.
And get to see the crew, our whole production team and the whole group and everything. So it should be fun. I'm excited. Get to actually see you in person. It's been so long.
Hello.
I know it's been so long. I see you every single week, but it's like, long distance relationships, they never work.
Never do.
Oh man. Is there anything else? Anything else you want to touch on? Anything? Nothing?
No, just, you know what? Please. I know all the officials for the UFC in Abu Dhabi are there for 19 days, I believe it is. So if you're one of the judges, start studying the damn criteria and figure out how to judge the fight. Thank you.
Tell us how you really feel.
I'm out.
All right, guys. Hey, prowrestlingtees.com/weighing in. Go ahead and look at our 4 t-shirts that are up. We have the new weighing in logo as well as our Karate Kid design. John,
Dude,
obviously,
I'm Mr.
being
Miyagi with the, you see that?
the chopsticks.
Chopsticks with the fly, baby.
We have the fence peeker, which is Podcast Dave overlooking the fence, and John and I sit in the chairs. Kind of that home improvement kind of feel to it.
Podcast Dave's in the Karate Kid, man. He's doing the crane with the computer screen.
That's
Come
crazy.
on, baby.
I don't know if I want to give him that much credit. He can barely walk and chew gum at the same time. And then we have our original logo weighing in, which is the big circle with the weighing in logo as well. So check those all out if you guys can. And what is it? Is it up there?
The code?
Yes, the code is
birthday.
So what is it? 20%? There you go.
20% off.
See,
Boom.
perfect. All right, guys. Well, hey, thank you guys for joining us. Hope you guys enjoy the show, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
See you later.